Everybody, welcome back to Bassman and Bobbin. Today we are talking about this motor mount right here. I have been working out in this garage, sweating, working in this Texas heat to get this motor mount built for the kayak. So today we're gonna walk through all the different parts, all the different steps that I did to make this motor mount. Trying to make it good, nice DIY that is strong, effective, and easy for you guys to follow. So a lot of videos out there talk about the final product, but they aren't necessarily talking about the steps to go through to make this mount. This mount is specifically made for the Lifetime Tamarack Pro. Now you can take these concepts and adapt it to any kayak that you have. All kayaks are made a little differently. Adapt what you will, but this is how I'm doing it. I wanted to make my mount so I could take it off and on pretty easy, but still be really strong. So, all right guys, let's check this out. So first thing I did was I got these Mighty Mount rails and I installed them onto the kayak. So here I use some rivets. They come with screws. You can definitely use the screws if you want, but I decided to go with rivets just to give it that extra support. All right guys, I wanted these to be generally even so it looks good and so it's just gonna function well. So I went ahead and marked a spot here that's already on the kayak. So I measured from here up, you know, whatever distance you want. And then I did the same thing here just to make sure they're generally the same. Now it's not a perfect science. You're not gonna get them exactly even, but I did the best I could. All right, everybody, the next part for the kayak. Now I ordered these off Amazon. This is the PowerTech TBolt kit. These are the 5/16. These ones fit perfectly into the Mighty Mounts here. So as you can see, I already have one in each one. Now this pack comes with varying sizes, comes with multiple things, and it also comes with the different tops that you can screw on. I wanted to make this mount so it was detachable. I didn't want it to be permanent on the kayak, so hence the mounts here. This is how the mount is going to be secured to the kayak. All right, so let me show you with it on there. All right guys, here's the crossbar that goes across from bracket to bracket here. I decided to go with the aluminum square tubing. These can be bought varying lengths at Home Depot. I went ahead and got the 4-foot length so then I could cut it to whatever I needed and have extra just in case. So this 4-foot tubing goes all the way across. Now you can see I drilled a hole on each side to fit the bolts, and now we're gonna pop it on. You can see now the pegs are in there and these just go straight down in. So you line up with this one egg there and it slides right on. So that is square right on the kayak. All right guys, once it is secure on the kayak, you can square it up. These can move however you need it to. Now I take my little knobs, get them started, and I'm just gonna tighten one on there, tighten the other. Super secure. I mean, this thing, I give this a shake, I'll lift the whole kayak up. So this is a great way. It's gonna be nice and solid, holding the kayak on there. So just another view here from this side, bracket, or the Mighty Mount, aluminum tubing. All right guys, next part of the mount here. All right, I took an aluminum angle. This aluminum angle is the 1/16 of an inch thickness. There are varying thicknesses at Home Depot. You can decide what you want, but this is plenty strong for what you're gonna need. The aluminum tubing, I went with the little thicker. That is the 1/8 of an inch, just for some extra support up top here, but this is the 1/16 of an inch. So that comes down. I cut my length how long I wanted it to be. And then I went ahead and I bought a cheap piece of wood. This is just a 2x4, probably a 2-foot length. I found at Home Depot, very cheap. And then I put it down here at the end. I also had these corner brackets, is what they're called, or brace brackets. I bought a couple of those. These are the 3-inch. So the 3-inch ones worked a little better than the 2-inch. I had 2-inch, but they're just a little too small. Here for the bracket, I screwed them into the 2x4 first, using the screws that came with the brackets. So they came with enough screws to go through all these holes, and it comes in a pair. But then once I did that and installed on each side, I went ahead and drilled holes in the angles here to then install with the bolts. So let me take this off and I'll show you a little closer what I'm talking about. As you can see, comes right off. All right guys, so here at the end, I went ahead, these are just 1/4-inch bolts, 1/4-inch for everything. So they're the ones that fit these holes the best in that 3-inch brackets. There's a lock washer down in there on each one of these just to keep it nice and tight, as you can see. And then I went with a 1/4-inch bolt that goes up into the 2x4 also. So that's more of like a screw rather than a bolt, and that is on both sides. And then same thing up top here to attach this up into the aluminum tubing is a 1/4-inch bolt, just a different length. All these parts, guys, can be found at Home Depot. The price is just gonna vary for how thick you want, you know, how much support you need, and you'll have to just adapt it to your kayak. But for the sake of the Tamarack Pro here, I mean, you can see I made it so I could still have kayak crate and the motor on here. So let me put this mount on here. Let me get the motor on and I'll show you how sturdy this thing is. All right guys, we got the Minn Kota trolling motor is all hooked onto the mount here. So as you can see, this thing is solid, all right? This mount is nice and sturdy. It ain't going anywhere. I mean, I grabbed this thing, I mean, it's gonna shake the whole kayak. So, all right guys, I wanted this to be nice and sturdy, so I made sure that these brackets came down into some of these grooves and just sat down in there when that motor's on there to make it nice and sturdy, so it's, you know, prevents any sway if any. But this thing is pretty solid, it's not gonna go anywhere. Now, I wanted to make sure that that width is going to be plenty for the trolling motor here, which it is. I measured how much clearance I needed from the end of this, you know, little bracket to this one, and that was about 6.5 inches just to give me some clearance. The distance that I went with this, I think, is about 7.5 inches here to here, and that gives me plenty of room for these brackets and this motor to go, this mount to go right on without hitting into these brackets. So pretty sturdy, pretty safe. It's gonna be awesome. Can't wait to use it. In the future, I'm probably gonna paint everything black just to make sure everything is sleek, it's looking good. But for the time being right now, I mean, I still got wiring, steering, and everything coming along. Thanks for watching, everybody. Nice, short, simple, effective video to show you about this motor mount. Stay tuned for upcoming videos on the wiring and the steering mechanisms that I'm gonna install on this kayak, and to break those down into separate videos to make this so it's nice and easy to follow. Click and make it easy so you don't have to go through some whole long video of the whole process. So stay tuned, guys. We're chopping the head off of this motor here. Gonna wire it up, gonna get the steering installed, and we're gonna get on that water and we're gonna have a good time. Also, guys, like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content and if this was helpful for you. All right, guys, see you on the next one.